Lesson 15, I will understand and solve division problems with a remainder using the array and area models. All right, so let's take a look at our problem set. Go ahead and write your name at the top of your problem set, and then let's begin with the array model, just like we did in Zern. Okay, so we have 18 and we are dividing it by 6. So that means that I'm going to take 18 and I'm going to put them into groups of 6. So I would have 6 here, and then I would have 6 more, and then I would have 6 more. So that I would have 18 divided into groups of 6. So the answer would be 3 because there are 3 in each group, and there would be a remainder of 0. So now we're going to use the area model. So we know that we have a rectangle that has an area of 18 and it has a width of 6. So I'm going to go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice how I'm drawing on the lines. That's what the grid paper is for. If you're drawing between the lines, it defeats the purpose. You're supposed to be using the lines to make your rectangle, so you have to draw on the lines. So we know that there are 3 in each group, so I'm going to go over 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I have a rectangle that has a width of 6, or it's actually a length, and a width of 3, and it has an area of 18. It says, can you show 18 divided by 6 with one rectangle? And the answer here is yes. Now, if we had had a remainder, we would have had to add some small rectangles over to the side. So, because this had no remainder, the answer to this is yes. All right, let's take a look at problem number 2. So problem number 2 is very similar to problem number 1, except this time we have 19 divided by 6. So let's begin with our groups of 6. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I have 6, 12. Then I have 6 more, which is going to be 18. But if you'll notice, we have 19, so I'm going to have one more here. So I have one group of 6, 2 groups of 6, 3 groups of 6. So my quotient is still 3 because 19 divided by 6 makes 3 groups, but I have one left over. Again, I'm going to make my area model, and you're going to notice that we're still going to have a width of 6. I'm going to go down 6 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go over 3, but this has an area of 18. So I have a width of 3, a length of 6, but I have to add one more block to get my total of 19. So can you show 19 divided by 6 with one rectangle? And the answer is no. Explain how you show the remainder. I added one small rectangle to show a remainder of 1. All right, let's take a look at number 3. So now we're going to be doing the same thing, only they are not giving us grid paper. So we're going to be drawing it without the boxes. We're still going to use an array, an area model, and the first was done for us. So you can see they took 25 and they divided it into groups of 2 with the remainder of 1. So they labeled their quotient and the remainder, and then they drew a rectangle that had a width of 2 and a length of 12, which is equal to 24, and then they had to add one more box to make 25. All right, so let's go ahead and do number 3 together, and then I'm going to start letting you do some on your own. So we're taking 29 and we're dividing it by 3. So I'm going to make groups of 3. So this is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. So then I'm going to have 2 left over. So I'm going to end up with a quotient. Let's see how many 3s I had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my quotient is 9, and my remainder was 2 because I had 2 left over. So now let's draw our area model. So I know that I have a width of 3 because I'm dividing by 3. And I know that 9 times 3 is going to get me really close to 29. But 9 times 3 is 27. So I'm going to have to add 2 more rectangles to show that I have a remainder of 2. So I have 27, 28, 29. I'd like for you to try to do number 4 all by yourself. If you get stuck, you can press play and see if you're doing it the same way that I am. Okay, so let's take a look. So we had 22 divided by 5. So that meant that I had to make groups of 5. So I had 5, 10, 15, 20, and that was the last group of 5 I could make, so I had 2 left over. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 5, so my quotient is 4 with the remainder of 2. Then I had to draw my area model. So I drew it with a width of 5 and a length of 4, and that made 20, so I had to draw 2 more rectangles to show my remainder. All right, so I want you to go ahead and see if you can't do problem 5 and 6 by yourself. Again, if you get stuck, you can always press play to see if you're doing it correctly. Okay, so let's take a look at 43 divided by 4. That means we have 43, and we're going to put it into groups of 4. So we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, and then I had 3 left over. So that gives me 10 groups of 4, and that gives me a remainder of 3. So then when I drew my area model, I drew it with a width of 4, a length of 10, which gives me an area of 40, and then I had 3 left over. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's take a look at number 6. So now we have, again, we had 59 divided by 7. So we had to take 59 and put it into groups of 7. So I had 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, and then I had 3 left over. So that gave me 8 groups of 7 with the remainder of 3, and then whenever I drew my area model, I had a length of 8, a width of 7, and 8 times 7 is 56, so the area of this rectangle is 56, and this makes 57, 58, 59. Okay, so today we were looking at how you can show division with an array, and I hope this helped you to understand how multiplication and division go together, because before we were looking at an array to help us understand a multiplication problem. Now we're kind of taking it working backwards. That's how division and multiplication go together. And then we're using the area model, because we know length times width is area, to show that division problem again.